Meet Tiny, the Terrorist Attack Hen. She is called that for a very good reason. You see this hen? Bears some resemblance to a black Sumatra. She doesn't have a gypsy face, and what that means is her face doesn't have the black tint to it. She's got a red pea comb. You see the big old spurs on that girl? I have to trim those spurs. Tiny's 7 years old. Tiny is one of those she has a fence jumper gene, meaning I was sent eggs from a blue-black splash Ameraucana flock. True Ameraucanas, I saw the birds. Yes, that's what they were. Proper ones, beards, white skin, the proper body type, everything. Beard, muffs, the whole thing. That little barred girl is a 9-year-old Easter egger. She's barred rock over a blue Ameraucana. Tiny, at 3 days old, I always called her the tiny chick. She was about half the size of the other Ameraucanas in the hatch. And, well, there's a true Ameraucana right there. There's Gypsy. Gypsy is 9 years old. 9.5 years old. She does still lay. About once or twice a year she lays a few eggs. But Tiny hatched from a beautiful blue egg. Beautiful blue egg. And, almost 3 days old, I'm looking at her, and I said, she's not eating. Look at her. She's running across the feeder. It was one of those aluminum base feeders, and, tan feed, aluminum feeder. And she's running across, and all the chicks are eating, and she's running across the feeder, like, looking at the chicks, like, what are you guys doing? What's going on? I don't understand. And she wasn't eating. And I said, I don't think she can see the feed. So I mashed up some egg yolk, put it in a blue bowl, a dark blue bowl, and tapped on it like a mother hen would do. And next thing you know, she's eating and she's singing. She was singing and eating and singing and eating. She could see it, the color contrast. So she's got bad eyesight. She's got terrible depth perception. I think it's gotten worse as she's gotten older. But, okay, so we tried to save the little chick, and I changed feeders. I changed to a red feeder so she could see the tan feed in the red feeder. So Tiny survived. Emily does not like her. Emily's my black rock. They do not. She has a bad foot. Tendons or something in her foot are bad, so she limps all the time. But Tiny, this is Tiny. Tiny gets frustrated. She can't see things. She gets very frustrated. She will attack. She got in a mode where she would attack my husband all the time. He tries to give her food, she bites him and she flogs him. She flares up like a cobra. I didn't like this girl for the longest time, and so I avoided her. Well, I thought, well, I'm gonna go pick her up and baby her. Hi, Tiny. Hey, Tiny. What you doing? And baby her and pick her up, and guess what? She's like a kitten with me. She still attacks my husband, and he's the one that pretty much saved her and paid attention and made sure she ate. But look at her body type. She hatched from a beautiful blue egg from an Ameraucana flock. As she grew, I said, her shape is wrong. Her tail angle's wrong. Something's wrong with this chicken. She has no beard, of course. She's beardless. But, that can be a flaw in badly bred Ameraucanas, and so she's beardless. And I thought, well, this is just weird. And I said, let's wait till she lays her egg. I thought, well, she's going to lay a blue egg. Because she's Ameraucana. She hatched from a blue egg. She has a pea comb, which is closely linked to the blue egg gene. And she lays her first egg. Guess what? It's brown. It's a brown egg. I said, how in the heck is this happening? She gets older. She gets more crotchety. She was in a group with my Delaware rooster. She was one of his girls. And every night at 5 o'clock, he would go to bed. He would get on his roost. He'd close his eyes. And he pretty much was like he punched a time clock. He was off the clock and he put Tiny in charge. If you went back in that coop after you had already locked it up, she would fly and attack you at the door. She'd just run flying and screaming and attacking and flogging at the door. So she was like a guard dog. It was the craziest thing. But Tiny's 7 years old now. She's one of my best layers, which is bizarre. Her eggs are ugly as they can be. They're misshapen. Sometimes they have freckles. Sometimes they have bands of darker color. They're just really the ugliest eggs you've ever seen. But that's my Tiny. And when she got to looking weird, I called the breeder. I taught the breeder on a forum I I met her, sort of. And I said, you know, she just doesn't look like an Ameraucana. Her body shape is wrong. Everything's wrong. I said, did you ever raise blue Sumatra? I mean, did you ever raise Sumatras? And, you know, how is this? She goes, well, I got my breeding rooster from a breeder who used to raise blue Sumatras. And there you go. There's the mystery salt. Well, this right here is Gypsy. She's just the love of my life right here, this girl. Black Ameraucana out of Cree Farms stock. Good show stock. She had a little arthritis in one hock, so she limps a little bit. She does lay. She'll be 10 years old this next November. But anyway, that was the story of Tiny the Terrorist Attack Hen. She's still a Terrorist Attack Hen. I can't believe she made it to 7 years old, because my husband has almost wrung her neck several times with her flying at him and pecking him in the head and all kinds of stuff. Hello, Emily. Emily's a 7-year-old black rock out of a blue-black splash rock. I never bred Emily. She's really got the wrong type on her. She's really more of an she really looks more like an Orpington than she does a Plymouth Rock. A little bit too fluffy, aren't you, Em? But that's the story of Tiny. Tiny, come here, Tiny. Come here, Tiny. But you look at her, and she's really got the Sumatra look. But that's the way it happens. There was a fence jumper many, many generations ago, and somehow the gene floating around, and she's a throwback to that fence jumping rooster, and that's Tiny, the Terrorist Attack Hen, and she is. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know. This is really weird. I'm sorry if it was a little bit bumpy. I'm sitting on a chair because all my chairs are soaking wet. We had a big downpour. Look at her, Tiny. Pose for us, girl. She's gonna get her some sun. I will talk to you guys later. I'll have to do I plan to do a video about the difference between Easter eggers and true Ameraucanas. But that's not for today. It's getting a little hot out here, and I need to do some work on a quilt. Talk to you guys later. Say bye, Tiny.